Alright, so this what if is what if Deku had half fire and wind. So we're gonna be starting when Deku is getting his quirk examined. So they come out with fire and wind. Right. So as we skip all the way when Deku's in 8th grade, going to the very first villain attack that we see in episode 1. As we can see, Woods, Backdraft, Mount Lady. As Woods is about to capture the villain, Mount Lady jumps in. And that pretty much calms down everything else. Deku starts taking notes. And then we see Deku at his school. The teacher says pretty much everything that he says in canon. Yeah, and then the teacher also says, Midoriya, don't you also want to go to UA High? As Bakugo kind of looks back at Midoriya. And well, yeah, after that, Bakugo kind of grabs Deku's, or Izuku's, hero notebook, kind of burns it up and then throws it back out the window, like cannon, and then Izuku goes back, or not back, but goes look for it like usual. So yeah. Then Deku's on his way back home, slime villain attacks. So this is where I want to list what Deku's able to do. So Deku is able to use fire. He's able to surround certain parts of his body in fire, kind of like Endeavor's. He's able to surround his hand in fire, his whole entire legs. He's also able to create body heat. And since the human body temperature is around probably 100, so he can be as hot as lightning. Lightning is hotter or as hot as the sun, I think. It should be. I think it's hotter. Yeah, it should be. If not, then sorry. So, yeah, Deku's able to do that. And his insides or his regular skin and everything else won't burn, as his fire kind of protects him. And let's see. His wind, he's able to create kind of like a Rasengan, except that he made his wind, and he can also make it push outwards to attack a wall and like that. He can also trying to think. He can also create wind gust out of his hands and feet, or bottom feet. As he can use that to float. Not quite fly, but he's getting kind of freaking out. He will fly. Not fly, but kind of float. He's also able to create kind of like a wind barrier around him. It's not that strong. Yeah, so Deku can create body heat as hot as lightning. He's able to surround his hands and whole legs as fire, and able to create a wind barrier and a basically wind Rasengan, and he can also push out wind out of his palm and feet. So those are the things that he can do, right? Right. So the wind basically Rasengan, the wind Rasengan, is basically shaped as a Rasengan. As Deku doesn't really need to charge at someone, he can basically aim his whole hand and spread out his fingers, and kind of like his palm is able to shoot out gusts of wind. So basically what he does is just that he basically creates the wind Rasengan and then shoots out gusts of wind to aim it at something. So that's how he does it. And yeah. And if he quite wants to, he can surround a little bit of his hands with wind, but not not really. So yeah. So back to the story. As Deku is about to get attacked by the slime villain, Deku can hear something rattling. As Deku kind of looks back, as Deku is looking back, the slime villain kind of jumps out, trying to grab Deku. Deku extends his left arm and creates a Wind Rasengan. It's pretty much what no one calls it now, the Wind Rasengan. He kind of shoots it out to the slime villain. As the slime villain gets hit, the slime villain doesn't get pushed back or nothing. No, instead the Wind Rasengan completely makes a hole to the slime villain. You can see in the slime villain and out of the slime villain. The slime villain doesn't really get hurt since it's made out of basically liquid. As the slime villain jumps back, that's when All Might appears and punches it. Torches the slime villain. And well, All Might doesn't try making a little bit of small talk. He simply just grabs all the slime and then basically dips. So now Deku's just completely going back to his house. As he is close to getting there, that's when All Might appears. And All Might proceeds to say, "You are quite good with your quirk. You understand what it can and cannot do. And you are completely aware of that, and you try using what you can do to your advantage, and you have great knowledge of your quirk. And for a young man such as you quite understand what it takes to be brave and what a true hero must be." So, as Deku thanks All Might for saying such great words, that's when All Might goes back into his fragile form, as All Might tells Deku about his injury, and that's when All Might gives Deku one for all. Alright. So, one day time skip, we see All Might and Deku at the beach picking up all the trash. As Deku's getting more used to one for all, as he kind of masters it. Not quite master it, but he's able to use the kick style. He's also able to use about 20% of one for all, which is a lot more better. And by the time he's in about where they get attacked, they will probably be able to use 100% of one for all without, probably about like 30, 35 or 34% of one for all, with getting like a little bit of injuries, but not really, Alright. Yeah, he's able to use like 20%, 25% of one for all already. As he's getting quite used to learning it, Deku has already great control of not all for one, but one for all. Yeah, sorry, I had to think of the names. I get mixed up with the names. All for one and one for all. Yeah, so as he's already getting quite used and pretty much mastering one for all, as he has great control of it, and he's able to shoot out, like the wind pressure blast with his fingers. Yeah, he's able to do a lot more of that, and a lot more damage with wind pressure, since of his whole wind quirk. Yep. So that's what he can do. As Deku simply starts thinking that he needs to do a lot more combat training, as All Might kind of takes him into like a place where no one else is. It's kind of like an abandoned warehouse. As they start doing a little bit of combat training here and there, Deku's a little bit more quicker on his feet and a lot more stronger, as he's not really using much of his wind fire. That's when All Might when they're about to start combat training, as Deku is about to use one for all. To try getting the first hit on All Might. That's when All Might says, Izuku, instead of using one for all, try using your fire and wind. You're starting to lose your 2 quirks that you have. Use your 2 quirks and the third one which I gave you. If you can use all 3 of them at once, then that will make you more stronger. And a lot more villains will try attacking. And the more that you get used to them, all 3 of them, and able to just think of using them, then a lot more lives will be saved once you become a hero. As Deku simply agrees, nods his head. So Deku simply starts running at All Might. As he creates a little bit of wind dust to pick up a lot more speed out of his feet, he simply starts running at high speed now. As his right arm, I forgot already. Okay. So his right hand is filled up with fire. So Izuku gets close. As Izuku is about to punch All Might with his fire fist. Yeah, we'll call it that. Since I can't really make up any more names, pretty much. All Might kind of dodges. And Izuku keeps on doing that. But once Izuku gets close, he kind of moves he puts his right leg up and moves his feet into an angle which it could be projected kind of at his waist. As Deku uses a little bit of wind gust on his feet to move his leg a lot more closer to All Might. As Izuku's leg and All Might's his left side ribs, they're about 2 inches away. That's when Izuku lights up or changes his whole leg into fire and completely absolute breaks All Might ribs. As All Might just gets flown into a crate. So yeah, as All Might gets flown into the crate quite hard. As Deku sees this, he completely just thinks, oh shit. As Izuku is completely thinking that he might have killed or really hurted All Might. As All Might, or not All Might, but Izuku starts running to All Might. As All Might completely says that he's fine, but quite frankly, All Might is completely dying. As All Might says, Izuku, you have gotten a lot more stronger. I can tell by that kick. And you're starting to get a lot more faster on your feet and using both of your quirks at once. I'm able to use both of them. And fights. So starting from here, we'll use one for all. Your fire and wind. As Deku completely nods, that's when All Might says that in a month, the UA entrance exams will be starting soon. So they need to train, as it's already been pretty much almost a month, as they only have 2 more weeks left. And yeah, So that's it. That's what I'm going to be ending this what if off. And yeah, I'll be ending it here. Honestly, can you honestly, if you like this what if and you want me to keep on continuing it, just subscribe, comment. Even if there's 0 likes on this, I'll probably still post. Why? Because I can. That's all I'm gonna say, because I can. Even if this video gets 0 likes. Alright. Yeah, so that's it. For part 1, what if Deku had a fire and wind? And so yeah, that's what we'll be leaving off, and bye bye.